is what the basis of my platform will be. What is it that I will stand for? First, I want you to understand I will stand for the Constitution of the United States as it is written. Not the way we like it to be written, not the way people interpret it, only as it is written. Also, you, the American people, each and every one of you, I will fight for each and every one of your rights, privileges, and promises made to each and every one of you from the day you were born to the day you die. Now, I also believe that the United States government should focus its energies on the people of this nation and not continue trying to run the world. I do not say we should be isolationists, but I do say that we need to focus our energy where it is needed most. Right now, the American people need our government to be there for them, not overseas taking care of other people of other countries. Sorry, that's not the purpose of the federal government. So let's start with my platform, my first three things of my platform. Number one, I must ensure that the desires of each and every American is heard in Washington, D.C. That our Congress understands that the people have needs, the people have wants, the people look towards the United States government to assist them, not to give them, not to stick to them, not to take from them, but to assist them where it is needed. They need a functional government they believe in, a government that's there, that hears them. I'm sorry, but as president, I want to bring up to Congress every single desire of the American people that are upset with the federal government. Now, I'm not talking about state, local, community, or charities. I'm talking about the federal government and the needs of the people, the needs of the nation, in accordance with the Constitution of the United States of America, and nothing else. I want our government to understand that each and every citizen's rights, privileges, and promises made by the Constitution will be met. So I guess what I'm saying is that I want all of you to be heard for a change. Not the lobbyists, not the special interest groups, none of them. They don't belong in our government. You, the voice of the people. Your congressmen and senators will represent you, the people, your voices. Not what's going on. For example, let me use Ted Cruz. He's a good example. Bernie Sanders, they're a good example. They listening to their people? They are senators from their states. They made promises to the people of the states to represent them in the Senate. They're traveling around the country campaigning for president. I have no problem with them doing that, but resign your seat in the Senate so that another person can take that seat and represent the people on the floor in the Senate to discuss what needs to be discussed from the people of Texas and Vermont that needs to be heard on the floor. You might vote on any bill. That don't matter. That's your opinion. That is not the people from Texas. You need to bring their voices. You need to make sure that the people of Vermont are heard. Neither one of you are there. You're out campaigning all around the country, making great speeches, but you're not doing your job. You're not protecting the citizens of Texas. You're not there for the citizens of Vermont. You broke your promise to them. You can't keep your word to them. That must not be allowed. We as the American people must be heard. I will do everything in my power to make that happen. I will. That's my first promise, to bring your voice to Washington, D.C. That's my first on the platform. That is probably the most important part of anything that I will do. Second promise, or second part, deals again with you, the people. Congress must understand they are the servants of the American people. They are there for the American people, not for the UN, not for special interest groups, not for big corporations, not for other countries throughout the world. Congress is there to run a nation as the American people. Each citizen sees fit, not the way they wish to do it, in accordance to the Constitution. The most important part of the Constitution is not the first section that deals with one, the second or third part, but it's the preamble. Because the preamble tells you why you are there, why there's a government. Those are the 6 promises that are made to each and every citizen. And you, congressmen and senators, must ensure that those promises are kept. You are the servants of the American people. The American citizen is the masters of the United States of America's government. And Congress must realize that. Not the Republican Party, not the Democrat Party, not some lobbyists, not some foreign country, definitely not the UN and NWO, New World Order. Forget it. The Constitution is there for our nation. It is there for our people. And our government must learn that they exist only as described in the Constitution, as stated in the preamble, for the American citizens within this country. Our Congress, both the House and the Senate, must understand they are to serve the people, and that the people are the masters of the very government that exists in Washington, D.C. So they're going to shoot me. Ain't the first time someone tried to shoot me for serving our country. But I can't sell them short. Each American citizen must receive the promises made by our government, which is in the preamble. Each American citizen promises, rights, and privileges must be protected. And our Congress must understand they are the servants of the American people. So, what's next? The third promise. Again, it's dealing with the people. These 3 promises do not deal with the government yet. I will talk of them. But the third promise is to bring leadership. Let me explain something to you about leadership. You can see it very well watching these candidates from the Republican and Democrat Party. There is no leader there. Not a single one. Whoa, 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 whoa. You gotta be wrong. Look at this guy. Look at that. I am looking at them all. Let me start off with Bernie Sanders, Ted Cruz, senators who can't do their job, but they're managers. And they're managing quite poorly because they're not even there to manage the situation for the state of Texas or Vermont. Oh, what about Donald Trump? I mean, he is the boss. You're right, the boss. He owns the companies. They got to do what he says. Our nation don't need someone like that. That's a fancy word. The boss is a fancy word of saying dictator. He's the dictator of all his companies. He says what goes, and they got to do it. The United States does not need a boss. Hillary Clinton, probably the most dangerous candidate of all. It's a wonder that she is not standing there before the world court. I believe Egypt still has a warrant out for her arrest because she tried to overthrow the current government in Egypt with the needs and wants of this Congress and this president. No, 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 no. Each country has a right to exist as the people within that country choose, not the United States government, and definitely not our Congress or president. But we need a leader. But what is a leader? A leader is a person who first accepts full responsibility for his decisions, whether right or wrong. He accepts that he made that decision. Whether the information he got is accurate, whether the information he used is totally incomplete and nowhere near the truth, he still made that decision. He must accept the responsibility for that decision. And he must answer to the people for the decisions he makes. But first and foremost, a leader must accept that responsibility of his decision making. That's the first step of becoming a leader. Second is to provide guidance to the nation, to give the people a direction to go, to work towards, to believe in. Because if the people don't see that leadership, they are lost to meander all around as they are doing now. So, leadership is needed to get Congress straightened out. Because Congress is following political parties and whatever they want, and specialists and whatever they want, and special interest groups, and corporations, institutionalized corporations, the worst that there is of anything. The UN, instead of a leader going there, our government is a follower, a manager of problems. Remember this about a leader and a manager. A leader, you never really know what kind of problems there is because the leader has the foresight to see them, take the action needed, and prevent them from ever happening. A manager, the problem must exist to be managed. So they sit and wait until the problem becomes a problem, then they manage it and fix the problem. So you could say, oh, this guy was great. He did this, he did that, he did this. But a leader, you say, well, the whole time he was there, nothing seemed to go wrong. Everything seemed to be right. Everything seemed to be handled. That's the difference between a manager and a leader. A leader, you never know all the things he fixed. Whereas a manager, you know everything because he couldn't handle the leadership responsibility. So, I must bring leadership. Well, I got a lot of training in everything that I've said. 20 some years, 26 with constructive time. Constructive time is like if you ship over early. Let's say I had a 6-year contract and I ship over 5.5 years. Well, they count that as 6 years, and then I ship over for 4, so I get constructive time of total 10 years when it's only 9.5. So I just want you to understand that. So I've been in the United States Navy, and I found out what leadership was when I was a young third class, and I had to do a repair. And my first class said, are you willing to put that crow that you just put on your arm up for that repair? Everybody else spent hours to fix that plane. You did it in 20 minutes, and you're going to order these parts. Are you willing to place that crow on the line that these parts are right? I made a decision. I went up and I tested the plane. I tested the parts. And by moving things around, I found out what was failing and what wasn't failing. So I had to make a decision what to pull out of the plane to replace, and I did. And he taught me that I have to be responsible because if I'm wrong, I'm going to lose my crow, he said. He'll write me up and take my crow away. Well, after thinking for a few minutes, I was a little afraid of making that decision now. But I said, yes, these are the parts needed. Anyone not done will not fix this plane. I need to replace all these parts. Not everyone in all the parts in the system, but these parts. He said, okay. He ordered them. That plane had sat in the hangar for like 2.5 weeks because the system didn't work. Well, the parts came in that night. He said, here, you put them in. I took them, placed them all in, got somebody else to get in the back seat. I was in the front. I was sweating it a little bit because what if it don't work? I'm in trouble. Turned it on, checked it out. Everything worked fine. The plane was ready to fly. They were able to get it out of the hangar, finally, and put it on the flight line. He didn't believe me. He had to go out there himself with somebody else and check out the whole system. He could not believe that I that quickly analyzed the problem, fixed the problem, and now the plane was ready to go. He come back and told me, I couldn't believe it. I've had that happen many times. But you see, that's what a leadership is. A leader goes in, sees the problem, analyzes the problem before it becomes a problem usually, and fixes the problem, and then stands behind his decision, whether or not the information he's got is right or wrong. Now, I was just a young man, and I was taught that lesson. I was 20, 21 then. Do I have a lot of leadership experience? Oh, I made it all the way up to chief. So, do I have the experience to bring the leadership to Washington? Yes. Do I have the experience to handle Congress and bring Congress to start serving the American people, which will also require strong leadership? Instead of the people being the slaves of our government, the people become the masters of our government. Yes, I do. Do I have the experience to bring your voice to Washington, D.C.? That's where you come in. If your voice is not placed inside me, I cannot do it. But you tell me what you want, what you need, what upsets you about the federal government. I will bring your voice. That's my first 3 items of my platform. And those are promises I mean to keep. And anyone who knows me will tell you if I use the word promise, I will either do that or die trying. So again, I want to thank you. I want you to check it out. I want you to see what I'm about. And you, I need your help. You, the American people, to make what this nation needs to be handled. And I want to thank you for your time. And I hope you can help me to get this word out to everybody within this nation. Because it's time we have another real president. You have a nice day. This is JD, presidential candidate for 2016. I thank you.